Good morning, everyone. Today is Friday. It's actually a green Friday, which is very unusual lately. Friday, October 24th, 1 week away from Happy Halloween. And today we will cover the Granite Shares YieldBoost funds. Again, we cover the YieldBoost funds once a week every Friday because they declare on the Thursday, so it only makes sense to do it all together on the next morning. But before we get into that, let's take a look at the Bitcoin. The Bitcoin is at 111,000, so that's looking good, bro. Looking good. My mouse doesn't want to work, so that's always good. You could see, what is this, yesterday? It was at, I mean, this thing is like up, down, all around, but whatever, 111K, we will take it. So if you're not familiar with Granite Shares, they offer, a lot. Look at this. They did a new fancy website update. You click it. They have a ticker running across. I think it's pretty cool, honestly. But anyway, we're here for YieldBoost. So there's two ways to go into it, either the distributions or the actual YieldBoost link. And yeah, they're coming along. They started with, what is it, TSYY, I believe, and maybe one or two others. And they did launch two more since we made the video, the last video, I believe. Is it BBYY and FBYY, I believe. So yeah, oh yeah, of course, here it is, new. It tells you right there, and then it tells you who's popular, right? Who's the cool kid? TSYY is cool, and VYY is cool, and COYY. They're cool because they make a lot of money. That's why they're cool. All right, but anyway, this is where obviously you can get the information. You click on a fund, it gives you all the info. AMYY distribution rate 97%. It's kind of a good layout, but again, we're pretty much doing the coverage through spreadsheets, and then we go from there. I actually meant to make an update. Well, I'll do it when I get to it. As far as the launch date, did I put the launch date? When did these launch? Actually, let's just double check. I think I did log it. Okay, October 21st. Let me just double check before we jump into the funds. Okay, October 21st. And FBYY, I believe they launched the same time, right? So if you go to FBYY, you click on here, and they go down the fund details. You can see when they launched, October 21st, same date. Okay. All right. Anyway, so I wanted to show you guys this real quick. I pulled up all of the funds, well, except the two new ones, because I think all the rest have been out at least 1 month. Again, utilizing stock analysis, to see. I think this may be pretty cool. Every time we do the coverage, all right, who's winning this? We could do it this week, this month, whatever. Actually, they don't have 1 week; they just have 1 month. But you can see for the month, the clear winner here is AMYY. This is total return, of course. The loser is MTYY, but I think we're all familiar with why, because MSTR, it's not. It's been rough, man. And then, of course, if MSTR is down, of course, crypto's down, which means Coinbase is down. So COYY, right behind that. But the winners are AMYY, NVYY, TSYY at the very top. So that's good stuff right there. Also, I made a little watch list for YieldBoost so we can see, all right, who's doing, you could sort by price, sort by the recent 1-day change, who had a good day. HOYY had a good day, right? All right, who's had the best week? You could sort by that, and then you could see, okay, TSYY had the best week. Again, different things, different ideas, just to help us, take a look and cover the funds. But again, everything's always a work in progress. All right. So check this out. All right. I know I talk about the funds and what their trades, how they make money, this and that. But I don't really talk about the fancy terms, their strategy, what they call it. Some call it what they do, because they sell a put at a strike price, and then they buy a put at a lower strike price, right? Some call it a put credit spread. Others call it a bull put spread. But either way, call whatever the hell you want. It really doesn't freaking matter. Call it whoop-de-doo. Again, it doesn't matter. As long as you understand what the hell they're doing, that's really what matters. But anyway, assuming we're calling it a bull put spread for the day, right? I just wanted to give a visual of, kind of what they do. Again, they sell a put, and then if the stock goes up, right, then you're going to have a max profit. There's going to be a spot where this is the most you can make. So again, similar to covered calls, is your upside capped? Yes, absolutely. It's freaking capped. Cappity-doo-dah right here on the max profit line, right? And then, of course, there is a point where you would break even, right, in the middle somewhere along those lines. But if the stock does go down, like way down, right, there's a point where you'll have a max loss. So, when you go up really high, yes, happy to do that. But when you go down, yeah, unhappy to do that. You're essentially saving yourself from the big hurt, right? So again, this is just a quick visual because maybe it does. I know some people love. I don't really. I'm not a chart guy. Let's be real here. But this, I thought this was a pretty easy one to look at. So, credit to the website, whatever the heck it is. Top Guno Options. There you go. But yeah, I don't know. Again, visually, sometimes it helps people. So I figured I'd present it this way. All right. Let's get to the spreadsheet because that's what it's all about. All right, so FBYY, we said they also launched on 10/21. So what we'll do is we'll increase the font to 200. We'll try to do 200. I think you guys always want 200. So again, they got what? I mean, they got freaking, okay, they got 14 funds. If you take out the 2 indexes, they have 12 funds. 12 funds with an individual underlying. There is no reason now that they cannot or should not offer a fund of funds. So I know, they're probably listening. So let's tell them, let's tell them in the comments. Let's tell them on X. Let's tell them everywhere. Let's get that fund of funds out. I want it personally. I don't know if you guys want it, but yeah. But yeah, no, the reason I'm excluding these is they're not going to include the index on the fund of funds because it doesn't make sense. So anyway, so again, yeah, I added BBYY and FBYY, and it just shows, yeah, they've been active for, 3 days. They launched around $25. That's typically their launch price. Underlying name, not updated yet on Google. It's okay. Underlying stock. Oh, I have that. BB, where the hell is it? Is this BB? Hey, BB. Hey, Bibi. All right, here's BB. If you want to see the underlying, you just go to the holdings, BABX, right? So you go to BABX. So if you type that in, BABX, it'll pull up the underlying name. Oh, it's their own. It's the Granite shares, Baba. And then if you scroll over, what's the IV? The IV of that sucker is 108%. Again, double leverage plays, super freaking high IV. Why do you think they're paying this insane yield? All right. Facebook probably going to be a little less volatile, but let's take a look. Take a look, brah. All right. Where do we go? We go to the toppity top. And then we go to here. And then we go to YieldBoostity boost. And Feebity. And then we go to the holdings. And where the hell are the holdings? Fun. Is it details? Sure. Fund holdings. Doesn't even show. All right. I already got it on the other tab. Where did I add it? Over here. Stupid thing. Give me a sec. FBL, okay? FBL. All right, so FBL, we'll plug that in right here. That's their underlying, and that is theirs as well. Again, they're known for leverage. Before they jumped into the high yield space, they offered, and they still do, they still offer a lot of the double leverage funds out there. Hence being, most of them, let's see, they got 2, 4, 5, 6, 7 now. Seven of the 14 are there. So 50% of the time they're using their funds. The IV, yeah, as we thought, the IV is a little less because Facebook's, it's not too volatile. They considered a safe stock, right? A blue chip stock. So the volatility will be a little less, but of course you double that leverage, sucker, and you're going to get a decent amount. 79%, again, not bad on Facebook. All right. So again, this tab is just to track the funds, how they do, total distribution, total house money, things like that. Obviously, something's wrong here. What is this? You know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to do this here. $25. And that's it. Everything is $25. I don't, I'm trying to do it, the proper way, but whatever. Everything's $25. But anyway, yeah, the TSYY fund is at 51% house money. I assume this 1272 is pretty accurate. So if you go here, it's going to pull where? Column E, right? Column E, no, D, column D to D38. Where the hell did I go? Column D per share. Yeah, it's D and E are pretty much the same. One's it's classifying as return of capital or not, but we're not going to get into that right now. All right, so we're here to compare the funds, right? We're here to see how they performed over this past week. All right, are you ready? Bow to the all right. Anyway, so first we'll start with NVDL. Again, you're going to see 4 days worth. You'll see obviously this is going to reflect, the Saturday. That's how Monday does on Google Sheets. But again, I have to remind people in case you're wondering, well, why is it showing the 18th? All right. So again, you'll see 4 days since it's Friday, obviously. But let's see. So actually, yeah, because we have last Friday as well. So we can, and keep in mind the Friday today, ex-dividend date, right? Ex-dividend date. So they will drop by the amount of the distribution, hence here, right? So when we do track the change from last Friday, we will add it back to make sure we're not jipping it per se. All right. So anyway, let's go down the line. NVDL last Friday, they went up 1.48. NVYY, they went up, wow, 1.68. I mean, that's impressive. I mean, that's unusual. NVDL went down 0.73% on Monday. NVYY went up 0.17%. I mean, 2 for 2, baby, whooping that ass. All right, how about Wednesday? Or no, I'm sorry, Tuesday. Tuesday, NVDL went down 1.63. NVYY whooping ass again. It only went down 0.6%. So yeah, again, I know most people care about the long term, but we want to just see the movements on an individual day in and day out basis just to see how it works. NVDL went down 1.01% on the Wednesday. NVYY only went down 0.43. So again, fantastico. NVDL yesterday, again, big green day. Remember that chart? Do you remember that chart I showed you? Where the hell is it? Remember this? Remember the stock goes up, right? So we're going to stop here. There's a max profit. All right. So what happened is the stock went up to 2.1%. We had max profit here. So that's why we're kind of stuckity-doo-dah, right? Stuckity-doo-dah. So we did capture 1.86%. So yeah, I mean, not bad, man. 4 for 5. So pretty good performance by NVYY. Anyway, let's keep going. I mean, anything Coinbase has just been getting destroyed, but let's take a look at this. CONL, where the hell are you? Friday, they went up 3.34. Big up day. Wow. Yeah, what the hell? Yeah, something funky here. Went down. Did it add the right distribution? 42 cents, 48 cents. Yeah, that's weird. That is super weird. Again, sometimes the formulas are working, man. The formulas are working. Make sure this says close. Close, yeah. Yeah, it is what it is, man. Whatever. All right, we got our asses kicked on that day. All right, let's double check another day right here. This is the Monday. Monday, CONL went up 4.45%. So again, max profit 1.56%. But again, big drop on the Tuesday, went down 2.96%. They only went down 0.84. And this, again, all right, so again, back to the chart. CONL dropped 10%. That's not normal. All right, that is not normal. So when they drop big, again, they're going to stop here. There's a line. When they buy that put, there is a line that is we'll consider the max loss. So again, we got that protection. We got that line. We got that security, that we talked about. And we only went down 4.43%. So that is a massive saver. Massive saver. Because look at this, bro. 10% on a single day. Come on, man. So this is why people buy puts. This is why people hedge. They don't want that big hit each day. It's a hit on income, right? We're not getting, all of the premium from selling the put because we're using some of it to buy the put. However, when you see days like this, it is well worth it, right? Because some days you're like, oh my God, why are they wasting their money? But yeah, here you go, bro. Here you go. All right. Anyway, yesterday, CONL went up 1.31%, and we captured 0.88%. Okay, let's move on to TSLL. Again, this is my favorite, one of my favorites to trade options on. Super liquid, volatile, high premium, everything. It's a beaut. Anyway, let's see how we doing. Friday, what's with this Friday cal killing me, man? I just want to make sure it's right. Something about the Fridays, I guess. I'll have to look into that. All right. But TSLL went up 4.83. TSLL, again, max profit, 0.57%. Now let's look at the Monday. TSLL went up 3.67%. Again, we kind of got max profited out. Went up 1.18%. Max profit, but it's good again because our puts essentially, will be very cheap to close out, pay out, will expire worthless. However, they expire weekly, not daily. So let's look at the Tuesday, TSLL. They had earnings this week. So it was a up and down week. But anyway, they went down on the Tuesday, 2.15%. TSYY only went down 0.26. And then again, TSLL went down again, 1.76. And TSYY again only went down 0.26. Interesting. So again, that bought put, that protection, that hedge, that whatever the hell we're calling it, that saved us, on Tesla as well. However, let's look here. TSLL had a big update yesterday. Even though they were super red in the morning, somehow they jumped in the afternoon. They went up 4.53%. This is actually a surprising profity doodah, right? So they captured 3.66. That is a good capture right there. Let's move on to BitX and XBitty. XBitty, I love saying XBitty. XBitty. I want to buy it just to say XBitty. All right. Anyway, BitX went down on the Friday, 3.3%. Again, it's Friday. Last Friday was red. The Friday before that was red. This Friday, it's like it's changing things up. Like, what's up with that, brah? Like, why are we? What's going on here? But anyway, XBitty only went down 1.14%. So again, that's finally a normal Friday that makes sense. But on the Monday, okay, Friday tank, Monday up. Monday went up 8.26%. So yeah, that's going to bite us in the ass. We only captured 2.16%. So again, the max profit line, there it is. That makes sense because, they're going to sell puts. If the stock goes up, yes, they'll capture their, the max premium that they can make on the put, but that's it. There's a limit. There's a limitation either direction. There's a box, right? We saw the box. BitX on the Tuesday, they went up 1.81%. BitX captured 0.81. BitX on the Wednesday, they went down 7. Now this is a hurt. 7.36%. XBitty went down 0.92, which is almost nothing. Again, thank you, protective put. Thank you. We'll have to come up with personal sound effects when it comes to these funds. Such as it's not really cappity. We got to make our own cappity doodah for this, and then the protective put savior say, you know, something. I can't think of it right now. Anyway, let's move on. BitX yesterday, they went up 4.45. XBITI captured 1.18%. Okay. All right, let's move on. Here we go. Here we go, baby. All right, TQQQ on the Friday, they went up 1.9. We captured here 0.64. Again, that's TQQY. So it's TQQQ and TQQY. TQQQ, TQQY. Say that 50 times in a row. Go. All right, anyway, Monday, TQQQ went up 3.75%. TQQY went up 1.53%. And then on the Tuesday, TQQQ went down 0.11. And guess what? We went up 0.16. So in your face. And then TQQQ went down again on the Wednesday. They TQQY went down, but only 0.7%. And then yesterday on the Thursday, the 23rd, TQQQ went up 2.5%. We captured 1.13. So you guys getting the gist of kind of how, you know, what to expect on these funds, the good, the bad, you know, things like that. So, all right. So someone's protective put, whoop, whoop. Yeah, that's too corny, man. We got to get something better than that. You know, that reminds me of that guy, the kid that jumps off the tables. Whoop, whoop. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, you got to watch those videos. I can't even think. It's like superhuman something. All right, let's move on. SPXL versus YSPY. SPXL on the Friday, they went up 1.6. At YSPY, I like YSPY too. That's a cool name. They captured what 0.86%. All right. On the Monday, SPXL went up 3%, 3.06. SPXL captured, not SPXL. Oh my God. YSPY captured 1.35%. On the Tuesday, Spixel, I'm calling it Spixel. Spixel went down 0.08%. YSPY went up 0.15. Spixel on the Wednesday went down 1.55. YSPY went down, 0.31. And then last but not least, yesterday, Spixel went down went up 1.68%, and then YSPY went up 0.57. Okay, moving on to AMZZ. Let's try to do these a little quicker. I feel like we're struggling here. So, you know, I'm just going to look for the big days. So AMZZ, they went up 5%. Big up day, right? And then AMZZ only got 1.3% of that. But again, a big down day the next day. AMZZ went down 3.62, but AZYY went down 0.56. I know they got these are freaking crazy tickers, but you know, because it's good to see. We want to see flat days too. Let's look for like a flat day on one of these. It hasn't really been. It's been a crazy look at this crazy week. Again, like big update here. Big update on the Monday. AMDL went up 6, so we were only able to capture 1. But then look at this: 2 down days. AMDL, it went down 2% the one day, and then 6.5% the next day. And then AMYY, thanks to the protective put, only went down 0.12%. And then on the next day, went down 2.12. So not bad. And then, of course, yesterday, AMDL went up 4. We captured 2.5. So not bad. All right, MSTX, we're going to have to go through each one on this one because, you know, again, MSTR, it's not been nice. You know, it's been very, very mean to us lately. So let's see what happened. So MSTX on the Friday, they actually went up. Wow, went up 3.89%. Unfortunately, MTYY or MITI went down. MSTX on the Monday, they captured 4.59%. So again, max upside, right? So we only captured 0.99. And then it went up again on the Tuesday, 3.46%. We were only able to capture 0.98%. And then what in the actual tarnations right here? 1022. Holy crapola, down 13%. So yeah, as much as it sucks getting capped over here, they go down 13.9%. I mean, thank God we got the buy put, right? It only went down 4.78. Yesterday went up 2.4. We actually captured 1.75. All right, Palantir Fund. So here's a flat day. Wow, it went flat on the Friday, 0.03, and PLYY or PLY went up 1.06. So interesting. All right, we got to move it along here. Again, big down day followed by big up day. Let's look at this. So Wednesday, Thursday, PTIR went down 6, went up 5. All right. PLYY went down 1, went up 2. So, take that for what it's worth. And then we got freaking Robin over here. Robin's been freaking thug nasty. It goes down like vicious. It goes up vicious. It's crazy. Like, this is probably a day trader's dream to play around with this one. Like, oh man, the Monday went up 9%. I mean, how much money we can make on this if you time this sucker right? But damn. So 9 versus 2, 6 down 6 versus 1, down 6 versus down 2, and then up 10 versus up 4. So again, you get the gist. SMCX suckers. Whoo! All right. So this sucked. We're not going to lie. On the Monday, they went up 10. We went up 2. But yesterday, SMCX just got destroyed, annihilated, got whooped. They went down almost 18%. Thankfully, there is a max that we will go down, and the max was 5.73. So wowza. Again, these are the new funds. At least the prices are updating, so that's good. But the I don't know. Yeah, the holdings were updated. The distributions I'm having issues with, but we'll have to check that in a sec. But yeah, they didn't. I don't think they declared. Although I'm not even pulling via formula, so it doesn't really matter. But again, whatever. There's not enough to even talk about here, so I'm just going to skip over them. But needless to say, they did launch. All right, Facebook and Baba. All right. So let's move on. Again, we got a lot of tabs down here. So for some reason, I made a distribution tab for every single fund. I should not have done that. I should have separated it into, just put it into one tab. But don't worry. Here's the easy way to look at it. You can see, all right, who yielded what this week? Like, who is the king? Who is the king of the castle? King of the castle. Don't worry. I'll go to stats. I'll do it for you. Koi is king of the castle. SMY is king of the castle. TSYY. Look at these suckers. All these suckers, super, super high yield. So, HOYY number 4. XBiddy. XBiddy, how the hell is that even right? Oh, no, that's Bitcoin. Never mind. I'm thinking that's the index one. AMYY. Yeah, these are all super high yield. And then, of course, AZYY is the lowest yield of the week. The indexes are usually at the bottom, but AZYY is below them this week. Everything else is like 95 up. So again, insanity when it comes to yield. These funds, if you're okay with the capped upside and all that jazz, and you just want the high damn yield, like these funds are the highest of the highest yields. Like they are crazy. But that. We'll see how they perform in due time. We'll see. Again, you get those too many big up days, it's going to be painful, right? But again, we will track them. But now I have this tab, the holdings. Now this tab, again, this takes a little time too, but bear with me. This is the download of each individual fund, their holdings, what they're currently holding, how they doing. Why does these both say buy? I'm pulling the wrong freaking field. Good Lord. If A7 is, what the hell? Are these working? Oh, this one worked. All right, let me try that. We might have to move it. Okay. All right, so that maybe this one was the only screwed up one. All right, anyway, so this is NVYY. By the way, we are live. We have 242 of you on YouTube and X. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. I don't think I saw any, but I haven't really been looking. I'm seeing a lot of new names, which is good. So there may be some people who are into these funds that don't normally join the discussion because they hate the other funds I cover, right? Will YieldBoost fund of fund ticker be YBST? YB. Well, why not YBYY, right? Because YY is their, the ending, the end. The typical ending digits. So maybe maybe YBYY could be YBTY if YBYY is taken. I don't freaking know. But I did ask Will that he wouldn't give me the answer. Maybe he couldn't give me the answer when he was on the channel not that long ago. All right, anyway, let's look. NVYY. So there again, expiration date. We got to focus on expiration date. What do they got? 10/24. They expire today. So they're selling a put 89.24. All right. NVYY. We got the price down here. 88. All right. So this put is above, right? 89.24 is above the NVDL price, right? So it means it's going to expire worthless, right? Here's the market value. So that's when we roll it, when we close it, we do a rolling order is buy to close, sell to open, right? You're going to have to pay, this amount to close the position. How much is that per share? That information is not here right now. I did ask them to add it. I'm not sure if they're going to add it, to be honest. If they do not add it, I'm going to add it myself via formula because now I do have the market value and the outstanding shares. That's all I need to calculate it. But I don't want to do that because I don't want to screw up my spreadsheet. And plus, if they're going to add it anyway, I'm just going to wait. But we'll see. I'd rather take it from them versus me on a calculator. All right. So they're looking good. This is probably going to expire worthless. But again, NVDL. Pre-market, how's it doing? Well, we can use this, right? We can go here and type NVDL again because they do have pre-market. Yeah, so they are up to $89.14, which is actually very close to that sold put. All right, COYY. Again, just look at this is the download of the holdings. You can get this from the website. You don't need my ass for this. But you got treasuries, you got dollar, and you got T-bills. All right, great. That's just the cash. That's the reserves. That's earning interest. That's great. But down here, this is what we're doing. We're playing around with options. All right, we got a 10/24 here and a 10/24 on the bottom. All right, so the buy put and the sell put. All right, so what is the price of CONL? It's 33.21. Our sold put is, our strike is 36.22. So it's above the current price, which is not good, right? That just means we're going to have to pay $36 for the shares when the shares are 33. $3 gap, right? But again, these things move rapidly, so a lot can change in a day, and that's all we have is a day. And of course, look at this. Look at the pre-market. It's up 5%. It's at $35. It's at $35. So is this safe? No, not really. It's still at 30. It's at 36. But again, it's going to be much cheaper to close than before, right? Now, they did buy a put. This is $31. But again, you can see this is above the buy put price. So it's not really going to be of value overall. And again, it'll make more sense when you see the per share value versus the overall market value going forward, I think. I'll try to get in by next week, but we'll see. Again, no promises. TSYY, again, this is one of the more active funds. They do multiple trades, I noticed. So what we care about, and I got to figure out a way to highlight the most current day. Since I'm doing this on the Friday, I should do a conditional format equals today. That's actually, let's just do it now. Let's see if it'll work. If we do format, conditional format, and we're going to do should say equal to today. And then parentheses like that. And then it would highlight in, I don't freaking know, that. Equal to, maybe I got to put the equals. No. Now, equal to, oh no, not equal to, contains the text contains today. All right, maybe I'll throw the equals in. Yeah. What's up? What's up, Google Sheets? Yeah. All right. Anyway, so here's the 10/24s. Obviously, wow. So most of them are 1024s. In fact, there's only one for 1031. Oh, two of them, sell put, buy put. Anyway, let's look at the sells. The sells, we got 20, 19, and 20. 2019 and 20. They're at 21. So they look to be safe. So they're going to be cheap to close. TSLL is actually down barely. It's barely down in the pre-market. I'm not going to pull it up separately, but we'll stay tuned for that. XBiddy, XBiddy again. They trade bit to X, and how much is bit to X? It's a 49. We'll just call it $50. It's worth $50 right now. So they're selling a put right here, 46. So 50 is above the 46. So this thing chump change to close, right? Winning trade here. But again, we're going to be capity doodah, right? Capity doodah. Because this is, we can only earn so much premium. The buy put, obviously, we did not need that because they're not tanking. But that was there for our protection. So again, what they'll do today is they'll do a rolling order because they don't want these to expire. They're going to have a trade going through the weekend, over the weekend, so they can capture the premium over the weekend. And yes, there is premium you can earn through the weekend. So like if you put in a trade Friday at 3:55 p.m. For next Friday, you're going to get more premium than if you put in a trade Monday morning at 9:35, if that makes sense. All right. Anyway, let's move on, Chico. All right. So TQQY, this is a biggie. Biggie, can't you see? Sometimes you but you heat me, time me. All right, so what are we doing? Selling put. All right, it's 102. They're worth 107. They're sold puts. They're all below that. So again, the 107, it's doing well. They're not, basically, it's going to be chump change to close it, which is good in a way, right? So this is not a losing trade per se, but it looks, if it goes any higher, we're going to be, when we're going to look at the price change next Friday, it's going to look like a little capity doodah, if that makes sense. YSpy, how you doing? Let's see. Spixel is at 214, and they got a sold put at 214, but that's for next week, brah. So it's interesting now. What will they do with this position? Like, will they close it early, take the hit, roll up? I don't know. They don't post the intraday trades, so we cannot tell. But again, it's an interesting question. So if you check this on, let's say, Monday, maybe that'll be gone. Maybe the 214 will be gone, even though it expires 1031. Maybe they'll roll it. I don't know. That's a question. Pending question. So yeah, anyway, that's it. What else? Oh, we have a separate, I didn't realize we had a separate expiration date field. You know what we could do too is make it for the whole sheet. So anything that contains today, right? So if you go like this, where the hell? Sorry, give me a sec. A to let's see, probably not even on the sheet. Yeah. CC. Well, hopefully CC's on the sheet. Well, obviously is, but all right. So that'll highlight all the current expiration dates. All right. So where were we? I think we were at. Yeah, we're on this one now. I think AZYY, AMZZ. Again, do you guys feedback is appreciated? I'm not sure. Like, do we eventually we can't go over every fund, so maybe we'll pick the larger of the funds, right? The highest, asset under management first, or we'll do the top 5 or so. Because again, you're not going to want me to go through every single fund. All right. Anyway, selling puts here. What are we doing? What do you do? What do you say? Let's see, AMZZ, $29. What do we got here? They're at 27 and 29. So the 27, that's going to be chump change to close. The 29, it's going to be close. But again, we can look at the pre-market of AMZZ. And they are down, actually. They're down 0.77%. So, okay, interesting. And let's just go here. AMDL, they got a lot of trades. Everything expires today. They got 20, 19, and 20. It's going to be close. They're at 20. So, again, nothing eye-opening on that one. I'm just trying to skim through now. This one, MTYY, they trade on what? MSTU, $3.44. Even though, actually, when I compared it on the other sheet, I had MSTX, but they should move the same, though, so it shouldn't really matter. But right now, they're using MSTU. Will said they're going to use whatever's making them whatever would make them the most money, the most premium per trade. So they'll look at the two charts and they'll pick and they'll compare from there. But anyway, they're selling the put with a 361 strike. MSTU is at 344. It looks like Bitcoin is up today, so this should be good. This should be good for the day. Ply. Hi, Ply. All right, Ply is at, or PTIR is at 31. They have puts at 30 and 30. So 30 for 30, your favorite show. So they're doing good there. HOYY. They got puts. See, I did CC, right? And then how far does the sheet go? I got to do like EE. Or, yeah, EE will do. All right, how do I get the... So, yeah, we go like this. Format, we'll go back here. So we can go up to EE. Easy E. Okay, now we're good. So that'll always highlight the current expiration dates. Because again, since we're doing this on the Friday, that would make sense. All right, so which one were we on? I think we're on Palantir, right? But yeah, no, yeah, they're looking good. HOYY, buy, sell. All right, so that's for next week. So their puts for today, 88.86. Yeah, well, the current price of Robin, ROBN, is 91. So yeah, it's above the sold put. So again, these are going to be cheap to close. You know, so we really, realistically, we don't really want Robin to move anymore, right? Because we got our capped upside. We got the max premium, right? It's just a matter of when they close it, how much more time value we're going to have to pay to close it. But if that makes sense. But yeah, I'm just thinking in my head, like, I want to do like a breakdown, maybe just in more detail to explain some of these funds. I'll think about something for next week, maybe. All right, SMYY. I mean, damn, they got a lot of trades. All right, but sold puts, we're going to focus 48, 47, 48. Oh, it is 44. Damn. What? Damn. All right, so, oh my God. Yeah, they're at 36. That's not good. Yeah, these are super expensive. Yeah, they're in the money, and they're gonna get whooped. So we're gonna get whooped today. But at least, again, you know, we're getting whooped. But is our buy put helping now? We can now look to see if our buy put is helping. 36.46. Let's see. We bought a put. Well, you can't count that. Well, we can kind of, but it's for next week. These are close, but they're still above the 36, right? So they're not going to make too much money. But again, there is maybe some time value. They could always utilize this one too. Yes, it's probably not going to be pretty today for SMYY. But again, we have to keep an eye. We'll see how it develops. What else? What do you do? What do you say here? Over here now? BBYY. Again, new funds. What are they doing? They got freaking BABX at 51. They're selling a put. What in the actual hell? Is this by mistake? Why would they sell a put with an expiration date of November 21st? That's weird. That is weird. $53 strike. It's above the price of BABX, so not doing well. But again, they got time because this thing expires almost a month out. That's weird. That's a mistake. I don't know. And maybe they can based on the prospectus, though, right? So I just haven't seen it since I've been covering it. So that's interesting to say the least. And then last but not least, we got Phoebe. You know, they got the normal 10/24 expiration being today FBL is priced at 42. They're selling it put at 42.79. Yeah, so that's perfect. That's fine. So we'll see how that goes for the day. All right, so that is pretty much the update on YieldBoost. Again, we covered pretty much all of it. I know the key stats, something like this is what you guys want to see. What I'll do is I'll try to add now like the assets under management, right? I'll add that here, so you can see who's the biggest fund, and then some other bits and pieces of information. I don't know. You guys let me know. But this is probably this is gonna have to be manual, unfortunately, because the way it's set up. So I'd have to go here. COYY is probably at the beginning somewhere. Where the hell is it? Yeah. So I'll just click here, and they're at 100. Yeah, there you go. Let's compare it to TSYY, which obviously will probably maybe it's the third. Yeah. So see, TSYY is pretty big. But I don't know. And then who else was there? NVYY was there. They're in the beginning. They're a pretty big fund too. They're worth what? 99 mil. Okay. So yeah, I mean, are these the big three? Maybe. I don't know. But there's a lot of their funds are, they're growing. I mean, this is pretty big. This is almost half a bill. Garbage man here. I put the garbage out. I'm a good boy. See that? See that? All right, so that's the update on Granite Shares YieldBoost funds. I'm going to do a quick Roddy update after this on a separate video. So in case you guys are curious about that, I'll do that right before I start work today and begin the fun. The fun. It's all fun, right? All right. I'll take a few questions if you have any, and then we will go from there. Chico. Okay, Chico. All right. Okay. Learning Google Sheets and dividends. Yeah. Hey, if you want, we could do a whole video on Google Sheets, right? Google Sheet Q&A. Imagine. Although, again, I only use it for this, though. I'm not really more an Excel guy. I'm on the East Coast, so right now it's 6:40. But thank you for being up. Appreciate that. All right. Let's see. Anyone here have experience with defined ETFs? They have so many ETFs now. I don't even know. I haven't really covered them in a while. What does wheeling options mean? That's the wheel strategy, baby. I'll cover that in the next video if you can make it. Again, I'm just doing a separate live in a sec. Cover call. Rick Rude. Yeah, I was trying to actually I meant to get that clip. I didn't even think about it. I deleted the video though. Damn. That should have been a short. Rick Rude. All right. Oh yeah. Speaking of Ambassador and DPC Dad, Yielding Grace is not here, but that's not a shocker. Sir, she's sleeping. But the three of them will be on a Spaces together today. I believe it's 11 a.m. Ambassador put the link, or actually, I don't know if Ambassador has a wrench, if he's allowed to put the link. But if someone could put the link of that Spaces, there'll be a Spaces today with Ambassador and DPC Dad and Yielding Grace. So it's going to be good. I'll try to I'll promote it after on my X. I'll try to make it if I can. Definitely. And yeah, and we'll all be like, nah, just if you have a question for them, just hit the speaker and go nah before you ask the question. All right, or else they're not gonna listen to you. So if you don't do the cone head noise, the question's not gonna count and you'll be removed. All right, anyway, I'm going to end it there. So as always, this is not financial advice. I am not a financial advisor, and this video is for fun and entertainment. So hopefully you had fun. Hopefully you're entertained. If not, we'll try again, well, in like 5 minutes. If you enjoy this content, please hit the like button. If you have any questions, or you want, leave some feedback in the comments. Let me know what your favorite YieldBoost fund is, and what fund do you want them to launch? Like, what ticker are you hoping to launch? Or do you not care? You just want the fund of funds already. Or are you just waiting for that fund of funds, right? I know I am. So anyway, that's all we got for today. But I just wanted to say thank you all for watching this early in the morning. Thank you all who are watching after. But now let's get to the keyword. So if you made it this far in the video and you want to prove it, you gotta say the keyword. What's the keyword? What's the keyword? Bull put spread. Since we're using like big words now, should we make that the keyword, since we're like options geniuses over here? But or fund of funds, right? Maybe we should do fund of funds, so we, in case YieldBoost, the Granite shares people are listening, we can tell them we want fund of funds, we want fund of funds, we want fund of funds, we want fund of funds. So yeah, there you go. Not just fund of funds, we want fund of funds, we want fund of funds. All right, anyway, that's the keyword. So that if you made it this far in the video, if you're on X, you're on YouTube, it doesn't freaking matter. You got to type we want fund of funds. If you don't want fund of funds, if you want a ticker, fine, put the ticker, put the ticker, put the ticker. All right. So that's all we got for the day. I'm going to end it there. And I'll talk to you all pretty soon. All right. Sound good? Great. Happy Friday. Have a good weekend. We'll talk soon. Later.